Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Another edition of High School Roundup here on CUTV. I'm Colin Kirkwood, as always. Devin's here with us, and on the other side, we've got Douglas Gladicus, the Thirdicus, and TK, as always.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. End of the season, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We have a lot of stuff to get into and recap. It was an interesting week of high school playoff football, so let's get into it.
It's been quite some time here since we had 4 chairs on this set, and I know definitely excited to have everybody back here. But meantime, we'll go ahead and start talking about 1A playoffs and everything that happened this past week in the opening rounds. There it is, California and Cornell. It tripped up a couple of people. I know that. Cornell 32, California 27. Jeanette and Stowe Rocks 15-6. Stowe Rocks continues to add stock to their profile. They move back up some more. I know a lot of people were talking about that Monday morning on various outlets of news.
Most definitely. I was actually very surprised about this. Jeanette being a powerhouse in 1A, very well-known program, being beaten by Stowe Rocks makes their stock continue to rise. As you said, going to be interesting to see what kind of noise they can continue to make here on out in this playoffs.
Devin, California, the hometown team, get knocked out in the first round at Cornell.
Yeah, California has been all over the place this season, winning a couple stretches in the regular season. Then you get to the playoffs, and that's kind of where they hiccup every year. You look at it, and Cornell is just one of those teams that stays consistent, and when playoff comes, they know how to throw down, and scoring 32 points in the playoffs isn't that easy.
TK, you got to wonder if that injury, when the last time we were there in California, had anything to play with that.
Yeah, Coach East Ryan's a big part of California's offense and defense, and with him being out, that could have really been that extra setback that they would have needed to put themselves over Cornell, and without him, it might have been what put them behind.
Moving on forward here, let's check out the rest. We got Olsh and Clairton. Not much to say there, 41-0. Greensburg Central Catholic and West Green. West Green, people were really a little suspicious about them going into the playoffs here. They post a donut in their first game.
Most definitely, everybody was a bit suspect, but I think West Green kind of put a lot of people on notice here with that big 36-0 win over Greensburg Central Catholic, but not something you see every day, seeing 2 blowout, shutout wins in playoffs here with West Green and Clairton both blowing out their respective opponents.
It's real odd if you think about it. Greensburg Central Catholic absolutely smoked Southmoreland the last time they got together in the regular season, and here West Green smoking them. Let's go ahead and check out how the bracket shapes up now. Clairton and Cornell, West Green, and Stowe Rocks. I'll start. I think I'm going to look at the West Green-Stowe Rocks matchup as mine to pick for the week. What do you guys think, Devin?
Yeah, that's going to be a game to watch, especially both teams that you didn't really think were going to be there, and now they're both facing each other. It's kind of like the 2 underdogs facing each other. But, you know, I think Stowe Rocks has this one. They've been consistent, one against Jeanette, as Doug said, a powerhouse. So we'll have to see if Stowe Rocks can keep it going, stay consistent.
TK and Doug, what do you guys think?
I mean, I like West Green and Stowe Rocks as well. I really thought that it'd be a closer game between West Green and Greensburg Central Catholic. Although I do like the Cornell-Clairton matchup. I really think that even though Clairton's such a powerhouse, I think Cornell will at least put a couple touchdowns on them. We'll see what happens, but I still think Clairton will get the win, but might be closer than what people will think about it.
I also like the West Green-Stowe Rocks matchup simply because I think that Clairton's probably going to win that matchup very easily against Cornell, and they're pretty much a lock for that next round game in my opinion. So that West Green-Stowe Rocks game is going to be interesting, going to be very back and forth.
Got to agree with you on that. Let's go ahead and check out what we got in AA. This one, a lot of scores we got to get through here because there's so many matchups, but let's go ahead and check it out. New Brighton and Apollo Ridge, 35-21 for New Brighton. They're moving on. Southmoreland and Avonworth. Ooh, tough luck there for the Scotties in their first playoff appearance in quite some time. They dropped 41-0. Avonworth, that's the second team out of the conference that they beat so far. They beat McGuffey in the regular season, and now they beat Southmoreland in the playoffs, DK.
Yeah, Avonworth looks tremendous in that game. Southmoreland really could not get anything going the entire matchup. And, Southmoreland did break that playoff drought, so kudos to them. Unfortunately, they couldn't get any further. But, Avonworth is a force to be reckoned with, and they'll continue it rolling throughout the rest of this playoff run.
Moving on forward here, let's check out the rest. Shadyside Academy in Washington was a lot closer than a lot of people expected, 21-7. We got Southside Beaver and McGuffey. McGuffey taking care of business, but Washington, not so mighty, Devin.
Yeah, Washington always seems to slack in the playoffs. I don't know if they face a opponent that they overlook in the first round, but they always end up coming short with the points that they're predicted to get in the playoffs. But that McGuffey team, I think they're going to try and get revenge for that loss in the regular season that you were talking about earlier.
Moving on forward here, next matchup, so you got Charleroi and Freedom, and I'll let the Charleroi choir over there speak on this one.
I'm stunned by this. I'm very surprised that Charleroi dropped this game to Freedom. Obviously, it was very close, 21-14, but Freedom's one of those teams that it's a couple hours away from where we are here at Cal. So they came in, Charleroi traveled there, and it was a shocking loss for the Cougars.
Yeah, it was close, but you did lose, and I think all of us actually picked Charleroi
Every single one
to beat Freedom. It was a clean sweep of the board, and so all of us were wrong on this one. So great job. If there's any Freedom fans watching, great job for beating all of us and picking Charleroi.
Every single one.
Yep.
Beat all of us here. Sarah Catholic 13 to Shannock 31. Bit of a back and forth matchup there, but Shannock coming away with the win. Moving on forward here with the last couple games. You got East Allegheny and Brentwood. Brentwood 28, East Allegheny 19. Riverside and Burgettstown 35 and 42. A high scoring matchup there for Riverside getting the win.
Yeah, Riverside, and that game, 42-35, like you look at that, and you don't even see that as a playoff game. I look at that one above it, 19-28, that's more of a playoff game, even the Washington score, the 21, but scoring 42 and 35 in a playoff game, you kind of suspect their defense, and Riverside's going to have to step up.
Yeah, well, I got to say, you might not be too thrilled then later on we get in the show here. I mean, not quite a playoff score if you want to say that, but we'll save that for after the commercial break. Let's keep on rolling here. There is the left side. We've got Washington Freedom, Shannock, and Brentwood. I'm probably looking at Washington Freedom. I mean, Freedom's already on the roll, knocking off the choir boys over here for Charleroi, so let's see if they can get it done with Washington next.
Yeah, well, Washington always has a way to lose in the playoffs. So Freedom, I think, is going to be this year's way. Because Freedom, obviously, you said knocking off Charleroi choir over here. But I think they got enough gas to keep it going.
Jumping on forward, let's check out the right side now. There it is, Avonworth, New Brighton, Riverside, and McGuffey. We are dangerously close to a McGuffey-Avonworth rematch here if things fall the right way. And I think everybody would love to see that. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I want to see that really bad. At the live show at Sonny's last week, whenever I interviewed Bobby D mentioned both Avonworth and McGuffey as teams to beat in this playoff bracket. So it'd be great to see them go head to head and see
Someone's
what
got to
happens.
beat them and figure, one of them being the one to beat the other one.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, it'll be a great head-to-head matchup if it comes to be, if the football gods let it happen.
Got a couple games left to play here before we get to that point, but now we can go ahead and check out 3A and all the scores that happened out of that area here. Beaver Falls and Darien. Whoa, that was a close one. It really got people by the skin of their teeth, 28-27. And this is the one that people are talking about. South Park 32, North Catholic 27.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised about that South Park North Catholic game because North Catholic was a very dominant team in the regular season, and coming in and getting knocked off like that to a team like South Park is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and Derry actually won that in overtime as well. So that was a battle to the finish. I actually watched that game. I forget where I watched that, but it was live somewhere. And I watched that game. It was back and forth the entire time, and Derry pulled out last second. So I loved watching that game. It was a good one.
South Park, a 5-5 team coming into that point in time, taking down big North Catholic. Gotta love that. That's the playoff stuff we're looking for here. Aliquippa 27, Elizabeth 7. Not much to speak there. Quips keep it rolling. Mount Pleasant 6, Central Valley 42. Mount Pleasant fought the whole way throughout the end of the regular season to find their way into the playoffs, only to get smoked by Central Valley.
Yeah, I think Quip is going to take this by storm. A lot of people this year down them just because they've lost a lot of seniors and haven't been there since, I believe, 2 years ago. They haven't made all the way, but I think Quip's got this one. They're going to keep it running.
Last year they did face off against Derry. Derry's first ever trip to Heinz Field. They're well on the way to get back there this year. They picked up that first win, so we'll see if they can keep it rolling here. But let's go ahead and check out their path to get there. Central Valley and Derry is going to be the next matchup. It's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, that Derry team is going to have something to go against, and they got to keep it going. They can't do that back and forth their defense really has to step up, get some stops in that game against Central Valley.
Aliquippa and South Park. I wonder if South Park can keep the magic going here, if Aliquippa is going to really take over the terms here and just show what's going on.
I don't know. Maybe South Park could be that Cinderella team and just sweep it the rest of the way and see where they can go. But I think they stand a good chance in this next matchup, and we'll see where they go.
We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break here, and we got a lot more stuff coming up for you after the break. There'll be a lot of exciting content. Of course, we've got PIAA D3 1A championship highlights. Everybody's here for those. That's the whole reason why they show you and it's happening. Hometown playoff scores that we've got as well. 4A scores and brackets and 5A scores and brackets, so don't go anywhere. More high school roundup coming up next, live on CUTV Sports 1.
Colin, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Millersburg, Pennsylvania can watch our stuff down here.
Well, they could follow us on Twitter, or they could like us on Facebook.
Yeah, but what about our sports? How can they watch those?
They could watch it live on our YouTube channel.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and wordmark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back into High School Roundup here on CUTV and CUTV Sports 1. Colin Kirkwood's the name. High school football is the game we're talking about today. Of course, we've got Devin Harena right here, Douglas Gladicus, Latherdicus, Alauticus, and TK over there as well.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. We just went through that first segment, 1, 2, and 3A, and I think we're ready to get into a special edition right here. And I can let you talk about that one.
Special stuff. A lot of special stuff coming up here. Of course, I drove home on Friday to go check out the D3 1A championship game, and I'll tell you what, I had never heard of this place. I had no idea where it was. I still don't know if it was a real place to begin with or if it was just kind of like built in like the week before the game to, add to the game. I don't know. But it was called Fairfield. So we're going to go ahead and check out some of these highlights, and of course, we got them courtesy from George Marinos. Thank you to him. There's Millersburg on their way out. Let's get right on into it. Millersburg's going for their second ever district title. They get things started in the first quarter with a 13-yard TD pass from Aiden Harmon to Kyle Kasner. They are excited. Very next possession after Fairfield turns it over after 4 straight because it's the same combo getting together for a second time. There goes Harmon letting it fly. 42-yard pass to Kasner. Indians are feeling it here, up 14-0 in the first quarter, mind you. Here they go once again, right on the doorstep. They cram it in really quickly after a turnover from Fairfield. Once again, it's going to be Harmon punching it in from 1 yard out. It's 21-0 at this point, and we're still in the first quarter. Here we are moving into the second quarter now. It's Fairfield getting on into the end zone quickly there. It's a Peyton Stadler 3-yard rush, and then here's once again Millersburg back on offense. It's Harmon tossing another 12-yard touchdown over to Caden Feaster. Indians go up 28-7, still in the second here. Fairfield into the third now. It's going to be Peyton Stadler once again, the big man for the Green Knights of Fairfield, getting it in from 2 yards. Fairfield still trailing in this one 35-28. However, they're starting to come back. Here's a 4th and 1 attempt now for the Green Knights. They're trying to force their way in, but no, sir, says Caden Feasters. He shuts down the 4th and 1 rush attempt there to get Millersburg the ball back. Moving on forward into the 4th here later, it's going to be a good 14-yard bow rush touchdown put on there. Chance Crawford muscling his way into the end zone for the Indians, going up 56-28. Would that be enough? I'll tell you what, it would be. Their head coach, Aaron Wright, he got his first win of the program tenure at the beginning of the season. He goes from getting his first win to winning the PIAA District 3 title there. Millersburg's excited to get their second title in program history over Fairfield, 56-28. Millersburg's got a bye week this week as they have to wait for the rest of the single A championship games to be played in order to start state playoffs.
Unreal.
Speechless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You basically just saw what everybody just did right now. Jaws dropped, speechless. Did not even think Millersburg had that in them. I believe I picked against them in the pick'ems. I thought I thought that Fairfield was. I thought I heard them before, but I guess not. They just blew the game. But Millersburg, I like seeing it firsthand. Wow, they could score.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll be honest with you. We all picked Millersburg and Pick'ems, TK and I, out of respect for you. And,
Good choice.
Yep.
And like it paid off, but honestly, like it's their last year in program history. What a way to go out! It's a Cinderella story. It's incredible.
We're not done yet.
No.
State playoffs coming up here, not this week, but next week, and apparently they're going to get somebody from the Williamsport area. Not sure who it's going to be. They're still trying to sort that all out. We'll find out after Friday, but it's going to be somewhere up north, Williamsport area. I don't know, that kind of part of the state.
Yeah.
But I mean, Devin, we got some stuff to talk about here for you too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't think Conner Weiser, back home, would be that good this year just because of losing all the seniors that they had, but shocking a team that.
Shocking a team. Check it out, 44-15. That's a shock if you ask me. They came into that game 5-5. Conrad Weiser getting the win. They're moving on to the quarterfinals this Friday.
Yeah, now that I look at it, Fleetwood, we always really have their number, so to say. Every year, Fleetwood gets blown out by Conrad Weiser, whichever sport it is, basketball, football, soccer. I guess they really had the juice that game. You said they were, 5-5 then?
5-5. They were the last team to get in that bracket.
Yeah, so I think they could make a little run. They've made runs before, and beating that Fleetwood team, apparently they're really good this year. They were 8-2, so we'll have to see if Conner Weiser can keep their own Cinderella story going.
He proved us all wrong because most of us picked Fleetwood over Conrad Weiser. So looks like I had a bad week this week in pickups.
We'll talk about that after the commercial with Doug. You don't have a graphic, but Richland, they're coming up for their game. They had a bye last week, so of course there's really nothing that we could have talked about, but now they got their matchup.
That's right. They had a bye this past week because the team they were slated to play was 4-6, and there was a 500 policy intact with the school.
Good thing we didn't have those over in District 3. That could have been a problem.
They were not able to play. They just didn't go, and they were able to get a bye week, good week of practice, everything. They play Penns Valley on Friday. That's a team that we're not really familiar with because they're from the other side of the state. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a great matchup.
What do you think? Who do you think's on top? What's your prediction? What
honestly,
you
you
never know. You might be like, I don't think they're going to win.
Of course he doesn't going to win.
I'm going to take Richland in this. I think they could really run through this district playoff bracket until
There's only one game.
Well, yeah, they can run through this game, and then next week they'll potentially face off against Ligonier Valley, as we know who's going to be going into the Whippeal next season.
Yeah, they're going to come join us over here on the fun side,
That's going to be one heck of a matchup. So we're going to wait and see how Friday goes and then get on to district championship game.
Now with our hometown jargon, I know you're all here to look at the Whippeal stuff, so let's go ahead and check out the 4A scores that we have from this past week. Montour and Thomas Jefferson, 49-7. There go the Jags. They keep it rolling. Newcastle, 6. Bell Vernon, 49. A lot of 49s here. If you were thinking about a parlay on Whippeal 4A, 49 would have been a good choice.
Well, we do have a 49ers fan on the set right now. 49. A lot of 49 on the set, but TJ and Bell Vernon both just continue to show their dominance in the playoffs just as they did all season long.
Leopards, Jags, and oh my, got to watch out. A lot of things going on there as they both move on here, going on forward with more matchups here. Greensburg, Salem, and Blackhawk. Shout out JR, 36-7. They pick up the win there. West Mifflin, nothing. South Fayette, 52. South Fayette, always a strong team. Of course, Bell Vernon's run last year got buzzed by South Fayette last year.
Most definitely. Crazy to see these scores being so high in the 4A bracket. 2 blowout wins here. South Fayette continuing to show their dominance.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Let's go ahead and keep on trekking forward here, moving along. Yeah. Thomas Jefferson and Blackhawk there. Don't got to put much speculation into that one. Of course, Thomas Jefferson should probably, pencil themselves in the next spot already. But South Fayette, Bell Vernon, they're going to get the rematch from last year. What do you guys think about this matchup?
Man, this looks pretty good. I don't know. Like, when you have a rematch, obviously South Fayette will want to get a win again. But Bell Vernon, when you lost to that team last year, you're gonna be on the hunt to get that revenge.
You're gonna remember.
Yeah, you're gonna remember. You're not gonna put that game behind you. You remember things that happened in the past. So I think that if Bell Vernon doesn't somehow pull out a win, it's gonna be awfully close.
Yeah, and I believe Bell Vernon last year was struck by the injury bug.
Yep, that's
going
right.
into the playoffs. So now that everybody's healthy, I believe they're trying to get that South Fayette's number back.
That's going to be a good one. Not sure where it's going to be held at, but I know a lot of people should be excited to go watch that one. What do you think?
Definitely going to be a great matchup. I'm going to take Bell Vernon in this one because
Ooh.
I think they're going to come in with a vengeance. Obviously, like you guys said, they're healthy, and I would love to see them pick up that win.
I don't know. I think South Fayette's pretty strong. I don't want to go ahead and pick against the Lions. They're a strong side here. But let's go ahead and check out 5A and what's going on with their scores. Of course, a lot of these as well. Franklin Regional 7, Moon 35. Panthers getting knocked out in the first round. Kiski and Bethel Park 45-16 for Bethel Park. They keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving here and check out the next couple. Mars and Peters Township, another blowout, 47-6. Here it is, the pick'em game from last week. Baldwin and McKeesport. Whew, close one.
Closer than most of us expected. Let's put it that way.
I know. I remember when we were talking about pick'ems
Yes.
last week, I said, Baldwin McKeesport's going to be good. And TK was like, nah, I don't think so. And I said, watch out. Baldwin, you never know.
Yeah, no, we did the pick'ems last week, and our guest picker, our owner of Sunny's, went with Baldwin. And I'm like, oh, he's probably getting a loss, which, I mean, he did, but, it's not what we expected. We expected it to be more of a blowout game, as dominant as McKeesport has looked all season. And Baldwin come in there and just said, hey, you're not getting away with this, and almost beat him. So, kudos to them.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy this game being as back and forth as it was. We obviously thought McKeesport was going to end up blowing Baldwin out, but
You all thought that. So
yeah,
there you go. That's the part of playoffs you never expect.
You gotta tip your cap to Baldwin for keeping this as close as it was. So, hats off to them.
Moving on forward here, let's check out the rest. Fox Chapel, Penn Trafford. Penn Trafford, another big win for them as they keep it rolling. Shaler and Gateway was pretty close, 35-21. That's kind of the only other close one that we have throughout these entire scores here. Gateway Gators getting it done though. Never pick against the Gators. That's my rule.
Yeah, the Gateway has always been the team to throw it down, but being as close as this one was, you said 2 touchdowns, so it's going to be interesting to see if Gateway can keep their offense going or if they're going to run out of gas soon.
Let's keep it moving on forward here. Latrobe and Penn Hills. Latrobe did find their way in, but it wasn't enough there. Penn Hills putting up 56 on them. Upper St. Clair and North Hills. Well, that just sounds like a playoff matchup right there. Two generated teams that you got off the Xbox 360, but 34-16 there. Upper St. Clair getting the win.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid matchup there between Upper St. Clair and North Hills. It was still kind of close. It was a respectable score, but Upper St. Clair coming out on top.
Not a lot of close scores here in 5A. Let's go ahead and keep it rolling here. Let's check out the bracket on the left side. Here we go. Penn Trafford, Upper St. Clair, and it should be Peters Township down there. What do you got?
Yeah, I think Moon beat Franklin Regional.
Yep,
so
I
think
made
that Peters Township might beat Moon coming into this next round. That's just my opinion on it, my take. I think they have a good matchup there. But Upper St. Clair could definitely pose a threat against Penn Trafford, and Penn Trafford might not have a great move on like they've had in the past. So we'll see what happens.
Let's check out the right side now and see what's going on over there. Gateway, Bethel Park, Penn Hills, and McKeesport could have a Big East 5A matchup coming up here in the semifinals there. Gateway and McKeesport got some games we got to win first before we get there, though. What are you guys looking at on this side? I'm looking at Penn Hills, McKeesport.
Yeah, I'm looking at Penn Hills, McKeesport, because McKeesport, I think, can pull this one out and keep it going. I believe if even Gateway wins, I think they could run through Gateway, because
Oh man, that's a tall
I
task.
don't want to go against the Gators, but you know, there's always going to be that Gator hunter each year, and I believe that's McKeesport.
What are you thinking over there, Doug?
I
saw
agree.
I saw the wheels turning. You
Yeah,
were
the
analyzing it.
wheels were turning in my brain there, but I agree with what Deb said. That Penn Hills McKeesport matchup's going to be quite interesting. Could see McKeesport potentially going in and getting that win.
TK, what do you think?
I don't know, man. It's a toss-up. I like the game all around, and I just think that whoever comes out on top is going to have a little bit stronger defense. So that's my take on that one.
Like your thoughts there. We're going to take another quick commercial break here. More stuff coming up, the exciting stuff. If you ask me, at the end of the stuff, we got the highlights out of the way, but now we can get to the more important stuff. The Pick'em champion reveal. We're going to see who it is. I got a pretty good guess of who you think it's going to be. And then Doug's certified fresh top 10 plays of the year. Going to be exciting. I know Doug put a whole 15 minutes into this one, so we'll see what he came up with. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll be back here on CTV Sports 1 with more High School Roundup.
Consider the future. Your future. At California University of Pennsylvania, you can build your life your way because we believe in you. We invest in you, empower you to create the future you envision. We give you the tools and teaching so you can rise up and achieve. Don't settle for someone else's vision of you. Build you at CalU. Visit us at calu.edu.
Colin, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Millersburg, Pennsylvania can watch our stuff down here.
Well, they could follow us on Twitter, or they could like us on Facebook.
Yeah, but what about our sports? How can they watch those?
They could watch it live on our YouTube channel.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Welcome back, everybody, for real this time. You know, thought we'd fake you out there with our own fake handoff to the real show, but we're back now with the final segment of the 2019 season. Devin Harena, TK, Douglas Gladicus, the hippopotamus of wackiness, back here on the set with us today. But guys, we are officially into the final segment of the year. It's hard to believe. It feels like just yesterday we started the show, and now we're finally at the end.
Time flies, man. Time flies. We've been through the entire football season already, and coming down to the end of the college football season, and we're into basketball. It's like I feel like we just started school, and then the semester's almost over now. It's a month left.
Almost basketball time here, but we can check out everybody's hard work and effort here, and let's see who finished as the Pick'em champion this year. The final reveal is it's going to be Bobby D. He went 5-2 last week, 45-10. I was on his heels the whole way through there and just could not chase him down. 39-16. Nolan actually had a pretty strong finish there, 38-17. He had a log jam of those. Gary and the internet, all 38-17. TK, you got up a little bit there. 5-2, you jumped.
Wow, I had a big jump.
34-21. Doug somehow managed to get himself over top of the dog here, 34-21. The dog, 34-24. The guest alumni picker group, 32-25. And Mayor, the junior high roller, 30-25. Living in Steve's footsteps.
Yeah, Steve fulfilled his shoes because he finished last too. So And it's only up from here.
Hey, everybody finished above 500 though. That's the real part. It's kind of tough. You never know. But
Yeah.
Bobby D, getting the win. Congrats to you. Really thought I was going to chase him down at some point, but no, I was a couple games off there, about 6 off the lead.
So close.
All I needed was him to get every single game wrong this week, and I would have got it.
It was real close going into that live show at Sonny's. I know we were talking about it as we were preparing for that, but Bobby D just pulled away in the end, so congrats to him.
Congrats to him, and thanks for everybody who was our guest picker throughout the entire season. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys keep doing that after this year's over, because that was a lot of fun seeing all the different alumni making picks week after week, and of course, guest picker from Sonny's as well. A lot of fun there. But in the meantime, Doug, you got 10 whole plays. You went through every single thing we saw all year, and you found 10 of the best that you're about to certify right before our very eyes.
That's right. We got top 10 plays here.
Wow.
We actually have them on the High School Roundup show this year rather than waiting until the banquet. Shout out to Dylan. But here are the top 10 plays of 2019.
Oh my God.
Ribs.
Oh man.
This is Michael Robinson taking a punt all the way to the house for the Mighty Mikes as they had that huge game against
That was the first game of the
Center.
year.
That was the first game of the year,
I was
exactly.
screaming.
And now we're gonna have number 9, some LH action here. Tyler Christopher throwing a bomb to Rodney Gallagher, making that guy miss. Gallagher is one heck of an athlete, quite a few moves there, and he takes it all the way into the end zone for an LH score. Number 8. We got some more special teams action here from this Uniontown Borough game as Seth Fishbach gets ready for this punt return. He's just going to go the entire way. Great move there. Great block there from his teammate. And Fishbach goes in for the score. Number 7. This is one of my favorite plays that I covered. Ethan Cottalupi with one heck of a snag for the interception. Shout out to the Charleroi Cougars.
Interesting.
And here we go. This is Rodney Gallagher again. You're going to hear his name quite a bit with a huge kick return from about 90 yards out.
A lot of special teams.
Got one man to beat, and he just weaves right through him. Number 5. Plot twist, it's another punt return. Jaden Zuzak here for the Trojans of California with a big punt return score after his teammate Cochise Ryan took the opening kickoff all the way to the crib. TK and I were covering this game, and this was like something we've never seen before with so much special teams involvement. Number 4, going to be a pick 6 here. Tyler Christopher rolling back to pass right to Nikis Hodges-Demery. You're going to hear him again really soon as he goes the whole way, 98 yards for the score.
Yeah, and LH was actually coming back that game, and that's where it kind of went downhill.
That's right. Number 3, snap goes through the legs, and Nikis Hodges-Demery, receiver for West Mifflin, picks it up, throws it to his teammate for the score. That was great improvisation on his end to get that touchdown pass off. And
number 2.
This is like the moment of the year, man. Clayton Rosensteel hitting a game winner to snap a losing streak for the Ringgold Rams. They went 721 days straight without a win until Rosensteel won it with his leg. And what do you think number 1 is?
That's the one. Love it.
That's the one.
Christopher.
Tyler Christopher just being one heck of an athlete. All these moves, just an absolute monster of a play. Stays the number 1 play throughout the year on High School Roundup. Pretty unanimous.
I was going to say, I think that's like the first ever.
I think that's the first time it's ever happened.
That's ridiculous. But
It is crazy.
Freaking what is that? 4 tackles. It's just ridiculous.
Absolutely crazy, but those are a lot of great plays. Special teams. Who would have thought that special teams would have been such a big thing for all the plays this year?
Honestly, though, like I was going through all the highlights yesterday, and all I kept seeing that were like really, really good plays were these special teams plays. Because this is the way I see it. 3 big plays in football. Pick 6s, punt returns.
Kick returns.
And kick returns.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I had to stick with the special teams trend this year because there was a whole heck of a lot of it.
It's okay. Cheer up over there, TK. I know you look pretty sad the High School Roundup's about to be over, but
okay.
it's okay. There's going to be a whole new season next year. just like 8 months from now.
But I'll be missing the man, the myth, the legend, Colin Kirkland with the flower hat.
Yeah, I mean, somebody will have to get a new hat. That's going to be the
I don't look good in a hat, Colin.
I barely even look fine with a hat to begin with. You'll have to find a brand new hat guy. It's going to be hard shoes to fill, but it was a lot of fun this year. We had a lot of great times out there doing all these high school Fridays. It's been a lot of fun. I want to thank all you guys. Thank Doug, thank TK, thank you, Devin. It's been a lot of fun this year. I know I had a lot of fun making this show. Hopefully it was entertaining for all of you out there. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I know I tried to make it a little fresher and different compared to what it used to be, bringing in these guest pickers to make some picks every week. Hopefully put a nice little element on it that you guys enjoyed throughout the year.
Yeah. Honestly, though, thank you for doing everything that you've done this year, because honestly, without you, this show never even comes together, in my opinion, because you do so much on Mondays, preparing graphics, looking at matchups, making sure that you're on us to get us to relay the message that we need to relay with this show.
It's always difficult, I know, just trying to pick the right stuff that everybody's going to enjoy, but I want to thank everybody who helped out with the show throughout the entire year back in the control room. Director was Carl the entire year. He just couldn't make it today, so thanks to him for getting it done for this entire season. I know it's a lot of work, but everybody else has served on crew throughout this. Gary's back there right now finishing it up, so thanks to him, and we'll have a whole nother season of High School Roundup for you guys starting out in August next year. But until then, hopefully you guys enjoy everything else that happens on CUTV, and you tune in for episode 1 starting in 2020 next year. Good night, California, and we will see you again next year with a brand new host and probably another panel guy too. You never know.